Network, and we are here at the Diyanet Center of America in Lanham, Maryland. This is known as the Turkish Mosque by some people, and this particular day is for the Maryland Muslim Political Faith and Empowerment Program. And we have here with us a brother that I've known for a little while, and it was so good to see you. And I just need you to give us your name and what you do, and we'll get into some questions.
Sure. Omar Abdul Malik. I'm a physician assistant and a health educator. So I help mend people's minds and bodies.
God knows we need that. Tell me, when you decided to get into the medical field, how old were you, and is this in fact what you want to stay in?
Well, let's see, I was 5 years old, and my father bought me a gift, and the gift was it was called the Invisible Woman. So I had all the anatomical parts in it, including a fetus, and I put it together at the age of 5. I thought it was so fascinating just how our bodies are made and how everything's interconnected. So it was really then that that piqued my curiosity in not necessarily medicine, but science. And I pursued that throughout the years. I even set up a biology lab in my room as a child. And that's really what I see myself doing for the rest of my life. I'm 47 now, and I've been able to garner a few degrees. I've got a degree in biology, a degree as a physician assistant, a master's in infectious disease, and a doctorate in health education. Yeah, so I taught at Howard for a few years after graduating, and I teach a boys' science class. So, and I see patients at a couple of hospitals in Washington, D.C. So this is really my passion, and it's what I see myself doing with the rest of my life. Sure.
You're married and you have 4 children. Are any of your children interested in science or in medicine at all?
No, that's the interesting thing. I never wanted to push them into doing what I do. I think that Allah has given us each an individual life, so I don't want to live my life through my children. So, no, you're going to become a doctor. You're going to become a college professor. So I asked them, do any of you guys want to be doctors? Like, no. They all said in unison. So each of them really seems to be geared toward doing things about which they're currently passionate.
And what are they?
Well, my oldest son is a really good animator, so my wife and I are looking at trying to get him into a college geared toward people that are really good at animation. My daughter, she wants to be a writer. So my 2 oldest are teens. The 12-year-old really likes engineering, which I'm very happy about. I'm happy about the other 2 also. The 8-year-old, he's kind of all over the place like 8-year-olds. Wants to be an astronaut, a biologist, or something, a cartoonist. So it's and I think that's one of the caveats with being a parent is not to try to push your child into the field that you think that they should go into.
Right. As far as health care goes, and I won't get into the Affordable Health Care Act at the moment, but what I would like to ask as Muslims, and this is a Muslim program today, is where do you see us as Muslims with our health? Do we seem to be in excellent, very good, average, fair, or poor awareness? And in terms of what we do beyond that awareness, are we taking care of ourselves?
That's a very good question. In my opinion, I think that we are above average in terms of awareness just by following what's in the Quran. Allah told us in the Quran, this is the book in which there is no doubt. It is a guidance to the muttaqin, the righteous. And inshallah, that's us, not just as a religion, but anybody who is trying to follow the path of God as they understand Him. So, just given the types of things that we do, praying 5 times a day, trying to decompensate during stressful times through making dua and prayer, our eating habits, so we stay away from pork, where the sunnah is not to overeat. So a third for food, a third for water, a third for air, in terms of filling up your stomach. Engaging in exercise, engaging in what we would consider, what many other religions call spiritual enlightenment, turning to God in times of stress. I would say that we have an above average awareness just to begin with, if you're following just the minimal aspects of the deen. In terms of being proactive with so-called Western medicine, because many of these medical paradigms actually originated not in the West, but in the East. That we have more work to do, and that's where philosophy kind of catches up with I would say, modern medicine. So I'm very encouraged. I work with a part of a medical practice, and just about everybody, like I'd say more than half of the clinicians in the practice are Muslim, which is really interesting. And we provide, I would say, exemplary care to our patients.
Well, then let me ask you then about, as I'm beginning to see a high level of obesity. I know that there are people within our Muslim communities that are dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, different vision issues around dementia, various types of dementia, and on and on. So then my question there is, what are we doing, or what are we not doing?
Well, I'd say what we are doing is we're trying to educate ourselves and each other and the broader community about, just stemming the tide of preventable illness. We believe in Allah's qadr, like, what's going to happen to you is the will of Allah. We're going to live and die at different times. I'm sure, the passing of the artist formerly known as Prince at the age of 57 was a big shock to everybody. You can't do anything about how long your life is going to last. However, you can do things about the quality of that life. So again, what we eat, what we do to our bodies, what we put into it. In terms of what we're doing, we have some very good programs like MCC, Muslim. I think it's the Maryland Muslim Community. They have a free clinic where people without any means of insurance can go to get health care. There's things that you and I have both done in the community as far as educating people, empowering them through education. That's one of the things about which I'm really passionate. So with the health education that I do, I try to go around to different communities and at least empower people through education. That's step one. If you don't, knowing's half the battle. If you don't know what hurts you, then you're going to do things that, a person with knowledge would not do. If you don't know that you shouldn't put liquor in your body, you shouldn't smoke, even though it says it on the package. And I have a YouTube channel, so iPhlo, IPHLO, LLC. And I'm a CEO of my organization, so it's called Innovatively Proactive Healthful Life Options. And I try to use the medium of the internet, specifically YouTube, to educate the world, the larger community, about preventable health diseases. So you can control your blood pressure before it gets out of control. You can control your diabetes hopefully before you find out. So I encourage people, get your annual physical exams. There's a test called the hemoglobin A1C that'll let you know how well your body is handling the sugar input for over a period of months. Men need to get our prostate exams. Many of us are very uncomfortable with that. women need to get the mammograms and the pelvic exams. Yeah. So again, with the knowledge base, I think we need to do more with that. Unfortunately, I got to be careful with what I say and how I say. There are many religious taboos that we have where women won't get a physical exam if there's no female clinician. And I say to them, look, there's only a male clinician. Well, go get your physical exam from the man, for men. If there's no, male clinician, it doesn't have to be a, Muslim clinician, if a female is your only option, then you go get your annual exam from that person. I had a very good friend who died of prostate cancer, and we all know him from several years ago. And I said, yeah, Hadari, yeah. So, and then another brother, Abdul, I said, why didn't you get yourself checked out? He said, well, I got busy, I had stuff to do. And I tell people, at least the services are there, the exams are there, your insurance will pay for it. If you don't have insurance, now thank God because of Obamacare, you can, and I know a lot of people have misgivings about Obamacare, but I was a recipient of Obamacare when I wasn't working. I've taken care of patients who weren't insured before, and they were able to get insured through the Obamacare.
I like to call it what it is.
Yeah.
Affordable health care.
Yes, thank you.
We were doing health care issues before President Obama came on the scene.
Yes.
It just happens to be he was there when it finally went through.
Yeah, and thank you for that. Because I thought, Obama really didn't invent it,
No.
So it's the Affordable Health Care Act. But that's, even if you are not privy to that, there's other things that one can do to at least try to protect yourself from preventable diseases. We have a big issue with STDs, so sexually transmitted diseases. And I tried to, one of the things I was doing a couple of years ago is through the Department of Behavioral Health in D.C. is a big RV unit, and we were going around the city, a team and I, were going around the city offering free HIV tests and free syphilis and gonorrhea and hepatitis C tests. And, people were able to take advantage of that. We were going into some really rough neighborhoods, and, doing blood pressure screenings and just trying to educate people and empower them and educate them about, protecting themselves.
Yes. So, my last question is, could be a long one, but I would like a brief answer. There are a number of schools around the country and people that are stepping up requesting STEM programs, and we surely need that. And can you tell us what STEM is, and also how we can get more people involved?
Yes. So STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. This is a wonderful program, or paradigm, I should say, educational paradigm, where we're trying to encourage young people, specifically children, to continue that, I would say, that innate curiosity that we all have about the world around us, and become scientists. I believe, my contention is that we're all scientists. When our parents were telling us, don't stick your finger in that light socket, don't put that in your mouth, don't pick that up, put that down, don't press this. We were experimenting.
Yes.
That's how humans have gotten to get to where we are, with Allah's permission, is, experimenting and finding out, okay, if I eat that, you die. If I try that, then I actually get better. If you do this, cause and effect. Science is very important. One of the things that I was able to start was a boys program. It's called BISC. So, Boys Islamic Science Club. And I teach the boys how to do physical exams, just like I did when I was an instructor at Howard. So we use otoscopes, ophthalmoscopes, stethoscopes, and introduce them to very rudimentary principles in science and anatomy. And I think one of my pushing for excellence. You stop demanding excellence of yourself and those around you. Say, hey man, we're at the top. You know, who's even close to us? And other countries are really surpassing us. When you look at what we've been given,
Yes.
you know, the resources that we have. I mean, other countries are surpassing us in terms of science and technology, and I think that's good for the human race. But in terms of us as a country, we need to do better because we're going to be held to a higher degree of accountability.
Right.
You know, and you know, our wonderful Turkish family here has made this space available to us. But they were able to build this because they had engineers, you know, worked on the lighting, architects. They said, okay, look, this is how you want to put this structure here so it doesn't fall down and collapse. You know,
Right.
Water engineers. You know, all of this is
So
engineering,
much, yes.
mathematicians. You know, the technology that makes this place
Right.
run. It's so important to keep our young people interested in this and show them that there's careers in this.
Well, I sure appreciate you sharing with us, Omar, what you have been doing and what we need to continue to do. With that being said, give us your name again and what you do, and that closes us out.
Right. So, Omar Abdul Malik, physician assistant and health educator.
Okay, so, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.